Good to go.
Are we ready?
Yes. Yes, we're ready. Finally.
Okay. All right. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Flat Earth Podcast. I'm your co-host for now, Matt Long, and with me as always is Dave from Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Dave, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, but before we start, tap your microphone with your finger, please. Okay. That your microphone is on.
All right. Yes.
Go ahead. So wait, you know what? Let's just keep this. We're hoping for proper recording. Proper recording.
Yeah, I'm going out. I'm going to say that this is going to be the best audio podcast we've done in a while.
Well, that's not saying much because our audio has been the worst ever. Other people say it's fine.
Which is why I'm willing to say it.
All right.
I'm going to say it right now.
All right.
So you and I are both coming off of epic interviews, Dave. If you recall, I also did an interview on a show which will remain nameless. Or anytime I say it, you bleep it out. So,
no, go ahead, say it. We'll let it go. We'll let it
go. No, I was on the show.
Might let that go.
No, please bleep it. Just bleep it. We don't want people to go there. In fact, I was on there for an hour. It was like a 3 or 4 hour show. I still haven't even watched the rest of it. It was so ridiculous. So
I was just watching. Paige and I were watching, and I had to explain who these tools were. And just we could see your face. It was just like we it was so pathetic.
So there were probably you and 7 other people watching that one, while you did one where about 7,000 people were watching with Owen Benjamin. How was that?
7,800 at the height, to be exact. But who's counting?
Wow.
Owen was great. A whole drama, with the Savanier thing, and it turned out. It was such a great interview. I think it was it was really just an enjoyable conversation between two people looking for the truth. And Owen's on the fence. I'm not going to say it's a flat yet, but a gun to his head, it's flat. If he had to make a choice,
I think he's too courteous around the flat earthers to not have a very high inclination that it's flat.
He sees the problems with the ball, and there's many flat earthers out there that won't say they 100% think it's flat. I might even be one of them, but if it's not flat, it's something crazy. What we know for sure, it's not a spinning ball. And that's the important part. So what's the layout of the flat earth? I don't know. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly, which was one of the big issues with the interview I did, because they think anyone that pushes the AE map is a shill or works for the CIA or whatever. And my thing is, like, it's the best teaching tool we have. Like, you got anything better,
And on my app, the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock, wherever the sun is.
You mean our sponsors, right?
Our sponsors app, yes, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Wherever the sun is. So it's interesting. We have friends all over the world. I could say, oh, look, the sun is over Eastern Australia. I'll call somebody there. What time is it? It's noon.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So something is right about that map. Something. Is it 100% right? Don't know. Don't know. The globe doesn't have an accurate map.
You know what's interesting? You know what also has an A and an E in it is Dave. So
that makes me a shill.
It's the DAVE map.
Yeah, that's I'll have to think about that one. Very funny. Going back to Owen, though, the response is what I really like about Owen. I'm having so many of the Bear Clan, those are his subscribers, messaging me, oh my God, it's I was on the fence. I thought it was stupid, but after hearing you guys, I started to look. There's a YouTuber that does a morning show, a live hangout where he sits in his kitchen, he makes coffee, and it's called Coffee Talk. And I started
unique.
I started to
original.
Well, original or not, I like it. And he's a surfer. I think he's probably in his mid 40s, late 40s. I don't know. He looks pretty young, but he's a surfer, and he talks about different things. And I heard he mentioned flat Earth. Again, somebody sent it to me, so I started listening, and it's good to listen to when I'm, doing errands and whatnot. But I messaged him today, and I was like, hey, have you ever, he was talking about the spraying of our skies. And I said in the live chat, I said, have you ever considered that maybe the whole description of the Earth is wrong? And no response. And then I was like, I put another one in there, and I said, perhaps we live in an enclosed system. Have you have you ever looked into the possibility of a flat Earth? I was just being gentle, and I could see that
were you smoother than you just said it right
super
then?
Smooth.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because I could edit my type before I hit send. So then I said, I recently did a chat with Owen Benjamin. Check it out. And he's like, dude, that was you. All of a sudden, he just comes over. He goes, I had dropped the flat Earth thing. I thought about it for a while, but then I was like, nah, it can't be. But after watching you, I'm now looking back into it again. He was so pumped that I was there. He couldn't believe that I was in his chat. He said, mad respect to you, the way you handled it, because a lot of times flat earthers will come out and just try to jam it down your throat. He goes, you were kicked back, relaxed. It was an enjoyable conversation. He goes, but now, the world, I don't know. And so we exchanged information, and I'm going to do a conversation with him. He's got a large sub base, about around 100,000.
Awesome.
I think it'll be another very cool conversation with two people trying to figure out what the heck is going on here.
Yeah, it just shows what Owen provided was a platform where someone was actually listening to you while you spoke, right? Which is different than most places that you go that aren't flat earthers. And it shows how, there were some flat earthers with some pretty big egos that were upset, that you got the opportunity to do that. But it just shows how powerful a conversation between two people that are smart and aren't trying to kill each other will have a high impact.
My thing is, here's the information. You figure it out. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Give them the information, and then if you want to say it's a ball after that, that's fine with me. But nobody really does. Anybody that listens. The best interview I had before Owen was the one with Chris Jericho, another guy that asked questions and listened to the answer.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, awesome. Well, I certainly enjoyed it. I think my favorite part was the part at the end where he accused you of being Jewish and couldn't help yourself. You had to make an app.
Figures he has to make an app. Paige and I laughed all night long. I still laugh every time I think of that. It literally, how a comedian closes with a great joke when he's doing stand-up? Owen always closes with a great one, and that literally made the interview. Everybody says the same thing. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So funny.
Totally. Yeah. So, one thing that if there were some Globers watching, they would see that some of their best arguments are actually have a lot of fallacy in them. And I think we want to talk a little bit about that, like some of the best arguments that Globers think they have that they live on a globe.
Some of the comments I get, the best argument is, dude, science, man. Do you science? Where's your education?
Do you even science?
Yeah. You guys are so effing dumb to think the world is flat. Our education system has failed us. Please don't breed. That's one I got the other day.
Well, the thing is, they assume like we haven't looked into that stuff. There's a big assumption that like we purposely don't want to look into that stuff when actually that's the main reason a lot of us believe the earth is flat, because we have looked into it and we see such gaping holes in all the logic.
Well, I mean, that's how we all started. When I looked into it, it took me, I looked into it for really hard, and the first thing I realized is, all right, the globe is impossible. What's next? And the only thing that's next in my book is flat Earth. But could there be something that we don't understand? Yeah, sure. It's just like when the Globers say that Jaron proved the flat Earth because they couldn't see the light, unless they raised it up. What that means is, right now, you're in Canada. Can you see my house?
I cannot.
Well, that's because of curvature. There's no other explanation, right?
Right.
It's just crazy when you look at it. There's so much proof of flat Earth. We can see too far. Water doesn't curve. All of the basics.
Yeah, the Chicago skyline, for example. Some days you can see it across Lake Michigan. Some days when it's rainy, you could be on Lake Michigan 5 miles from the shore and not be able to see it.
Sometimes you can see half of the building, and sometimes you can see 3/4 of the building. So is the Earth flexing?
Maybe that's it. It's a squishy toy.
I do have a squishy toy Earth. I'll have to look at it and see if I can make recreate that. But that just shows that if that horizon, that apparent horizon, is changing, then it's not curvature. It's a optical effect.
Sure.
Logic.
Sure. Yeah, logic, exactly. And, like I say all the time, there's a difference between correlation and causation. There can be a lot of things that correlate to you living on the ball. It doesn't mean that they're caused by you living on a ball.
Yeah. Well, your example of when the clock strikes 12, it causes you to have lunch.
Right. Yes, yes. It's proven because I went and ate lunch at noon.
You did it like 7 days in a row. That's solid proof right there in my book.
Right. But all that would have to happen is one day I go eat lunch at a different time, or I go eat lunch without a clock in the room, and that would disprove the fact that the clock is causing me to go eat lunch. Now, with the ball, okay, the number one characteristic of a ball is curvature, and we cannot detect it. So where do we go from there? A lot of us go to the flat earth. Some people go other places. But the point is, and I was thinking about, our friend M. Craig, whatever his name is, when we were arguing with him. And one of the biggest issues with that conversation, the reason why it was so frustrating is because he was pretending to have no knowledge, okay? Yet if you had no knowledge and walked outside, you're going to be a flat earther. You're going to think the earth is flat and motionless. Yet he was trying to have no knowledge and then talk about our points like they had fallacy in them, right?
Yeah, so crazy. I tried to get him on Nathan's debate show because
that would have been so good.
And I even bribed Nathan to get him on, and so I gave him his information. They were going back and forth. He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And Nathan started arguing with him via email. Okay, crushed him via email, and he bailed.
Oh, he should have held off. It would have been so good.
So Nathan does not get his bribe. He defaulted.
Talk about crushing people in the comments, if it's even a comment worth responding to. I thought maybe you get a lot of flack for moderating comments and things like that. I was thinking maybe we could just do a little live example and show kind of the logic you go through when moderating some of the comments we have on Facebook or YouTube, whatever.
Sure. So when I have time, I go to the Facebook page, and a lot of the comments, I have a ton of words. Like if you say anything like, you flat earthers, boom, your comment's already hidden. I have the list of words that it's absolutely ridiculous. The list of words I have. I'll go through it. I'm doing it right now. For me, Earth is round, but man never been to the moon, even step on it. That's that one I'll just unhide. I'm like, all right, that one's fine. A lot of people, I'm looking at, we have this one video, it's by Scrawny to Brawny, and it has 2.8 million views on our page. And their comments are insane. There's so many people that are just tagging other people that are bringing them in. It's amazing. So this next one, twats, banned for life. This video brings up some very strange questions. That one's good. I'm not going to finish reading the question because I don't have time. I have to unhide these as I go, so that's what the little delay is. Flat Earth, the name tells me everything. I need to know. Ha ha ha, so funny. Banned for life.
Banned for life.
Banned for life. AKA Flat Earthers, ha ha, banned for life. A stupid meme, don't know what it means, banned for life. You are a punk, sick, stupid, banned for life.
People just
useless,
control yourselves a little bit.
Useless, banned for life. I won't even engage them because I don't have time. Some of them very well might be coming across it for the first time and are just making a comment. Like if I was coming across this for the first time, I'd probably get banned for life. Some guy did 5 memes in a row. I'm not even looking at them. Banned for life.
You want to know one of my favorite things about YouTube is when someone makes a ridiculous comment like that, you can just hide them. And any comment they make for the rest of their life, they think is up there, but nobody can see it.
Yeah, well, that's what is going on here. There are a lot of hidden comments, but I like, I encourage someone to ask real questions. Hey, I don't understand this, and those I'll respond to. But honestly, if I see it, I'll respond to it. Hey, here's something. Just changing topics for a second. I'll get back to this for another minute or so. I heard, and I haven't checked, that to the east. Countries to the east of Israel, their writing goes from right to left or left to right, one direction, and to the other side of Israel goes the opposite direction. So you're always reading towards Israel. Do you know about this?
I've heard that too. I don't know if it's 100% correct, but I've definitely heard that. It's very interesting.
It's kind of interesting.
The question is east, left, or right on what map? So
I got to look into that more, or somebody should look into it and let me know.
somebody definitely should.
Mental retardation is banned for life. So when we look into space and clearly see that everything else is round, I'm just going to delete that one. I'm not going to read it. It's like 5 paragraphs long.
So it's got to be short. It's got to be no curse words. It's got to be no accusations.
You flat earthers, banned for life. Flurfers, banned for life. They call us flurfers. So that's basically it. But we're encouraging comments. We're encouraging you to tag your friends. We're encouraging you to engage your friends and respond to them.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have a good comment, we'll push it to the top, won't we, Dave?
Absolutely. Hey, here's another thing. When we all know great videos to respond, because, typing out how East and West work or all this stuff, it's a lot of typing, and videos definitely present flat Earth descriptions better than words do most of the time, depending on the question. So here's an idea a thing that I do, and I've been meaning to tell people, is when you're responding with a video, like if somebody says, "Can you explain, how the sun sets, or how circumnavigation works, or how southern flights work, or whatever the question is," and you have a bunch of videos, create a playlist, or even go to my channel DITRH, and I have lots of these playlists already created. And I'll have the top 5 or 10 videos in there on that topic, and I try to order them in the order that you would want somebody new to this question to listen to.
Sure.
And so go to the playlist, click on the first video, have it come up, and then take the URL from the top of the web browser, not from the share button, and that'll share that video in the playlist. And when they're done watching it, it'll autoplay the next video, and so on and so on. So I've done that, and people end up going through the whole playlist, and then they get it. So
yeah, that's good, because I find that a lot of times if you're watching a flat Earth video, the next one that comes up is a debunking video.
Absolutely. So if you put the playlist link in there, and you have to take it from the web browser, from the top, not from the share button, it'll give you the link to the whole playlist. Even if you do that with the video, it'll thumbnail the proper video if you pick in the second video or the fifth video. Normally I send it from the top of the list unless it's something super specific. It works great. You can create playlists with your own videos, with other videos. My playlists have other people's videos and my videos mixed in. So whatever is the best group of videos, it's a great way to keep people on track.
I've also got a playlist on my site called Flat Earth Classics, just stuff that I gather over the years of things that explain a lot of stuff better than I can. So
right,
great transition into that topic. Usually the transitions are my job. Speaking of transitions,
hold on. Well, before you transition out, I'll just give you a list of some of the playlists I have. NASA fraud, DITRH interviews. I have an Owen Benjamin playlist, of course. Geoengineering, I have flat Earth sunsets, eclipses, 5G, vaccines. I have other topics in there too. Personal atmospheric dome videos, which is a one I use often. Star rotation, sun. I have my sun fade out videos. I have, of course, the Flat Earth Sun and Moon and Zodiac Clock app playlist with all the different languages in there. If you need to give somebody an explanation in a different language, it's all in there.
Our sponsors will be happy.
Let's wait. While we're on the app for a second, some exciting new updates which are out and active. Update your phones. The one thing is on the weather. You know how the weather shows you your high and low temperature? So when you get up in the morning, you're checking the daily temperature. Sometimes we need a little more information. Click on the weather info, and boom, it takes you to your local, maps and forecast and everything. So it takes you out of the app right to your local weather for your town.
It's almost like you should never get out of this app. It should always be there.
Always, absolutely. And then the other thing that I did is we have notifications. You know how notifications will pop up on your phone when you first open it? There'll be notifications. So I will mostly use it just to have a quick description of today's featured video or any special events that are happening. Notification will pop up. and you can check it out. Click it, it brings you right into the app, and you can check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah. You could also turn notifications off in your settings under notifications if you don't want them. But it's a good thing to have, and you'll be like, oh man, I was wondering about that question, and there it is, and you won't miss a featured video.
Awesome. Well, it's a great app. Everyone should get it. Speaking of featured videos, did you feature Mitchell from Australia's anti-gravity water video on there?
Did you watch it?
I mitched it.
You mitched it?
I mitched it.
Yeah, so it's a few weeks old now, but Mitch proved that gravity...
Can we just start calling him Australia, right? Like,
yeah, he's the...
Do we even need to say Mitchell from Australia? He's the only, right?
My theory, it's a leading theory, and many people are buying into it, that there's only one guy in Australia. And every caller that we get, you'll see when we play Speak Pipes, we probably have some guy that's, it's probably Mitch claiming he has a different name from Australia.
I mean, I would put it out there for someone to disprove us. I think it's going to be tough. Just like most of these other theories, conspiracy theories, they all fall under flat Earth. So
there you go.
All right, so anti-gravity
All right,
water.
so basically it's a simple thing. Anybody can do it. Get a water glass, fill it, 80, 90% filled with water, and then get a larger piece of plastic, a Tupperware lid or something, put it on top of the glass, turn the glass over, and then remove your hand, and the water does not fall out. It stays there because of the tiny little bit of vacuum. As the water tries to drop down, it creates the tiniest vacuum in that bubble at the top of the glass, and that holds all the water up.
Wow.
But gravity can hold a cruise ship to the bottom of a spinning ball. Makes no sense. So what it's also showing is, space is a vacuum, the ultimate, Tor 10 vacuum or whatever it is, a vacuum that we can't even create on Earth because we just don't have the technology to make a vacuum that strong. But that little tiny vacuum in the water can hold the entire glass of water upside down.
And I love the point that astronauts practice in the opposite of a vacuum in a pool where water is actually trying to get into the suit as opposed to in space when it's trying to suck everything out of the suit.
Yeah, just think about that. They're practicing, in a vacuum, the my words again.
Kingdaka.
The astronaut's suit would explode. He would turn into the Michelin Man, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and he would explode. They're training where everything's trying to get in. Does that make any sense?
No.
It makes no sense.
Here's another theory. The Michelin Man is an astronaut.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that it's all equal in nonsense.
Okay. And his name's Mitchell.
Mitch, there you go.
Michelin Man.
There you go. Michelin, by the way, Michelin. Mitch, he is the co-host now on the Do Me podcast, the Do Me Life podcast.
Wow.
That's
cool.
Do Me with no spaces. I don't know why he puts it together like that, but with Paul on the plane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I feel like we jump-started his career.
I think that Mitchell from Australia is just trying to get closer to me, and that's why he's just like working his way through Paul because he knows Paul is friends with me, and he's trying to get close to me.
Anyone who listened from the words out of Michelin Man's mouth would probably come to the same conclusion.
Yeah. And by the way, congratulations to the Michelin Man in Australia. He had a baby, and he decided to live dangerously by having it at home, not jabbing it with hepatitis B vaccine, because even though there's a chance that the baby might visit a hooker or do some drugs, some IV drugs, and didn't put any antibiotics in his eyes so he could actually see how scary Mitchell looks right from the moment of birth.
Yeah, right. Good for Mitchell.
yeah.
That's awesome. We are also going to have a home birth here at the end of October. If everything goes to plan, and we're also not going to poke it and prod it with anything. So I just don't really see the need to.
That's fantastic.
It's a big topic right now, vaccines.
It certainly is, and I will link in the show notes. I have a Dropbox folder to my top probably 10 vaccine podcasts, and if you listen to just number one, let alone 2, 3, 4, and continue, you will never, ever put another needle in anyone. You won't ever let it happen, because it is such a horrifying thing.
My wife's a big anti-vaxxer. Jessica Faith Long on Facebook. She puts out a ton of good stuff on there about it.
It's so amazing. I have close friends that when you mention anti-vaxxers, they freak out. They're like, "Science, you're not listening," and they refuse to listen to real information about vaccines. They just refuse.
Yeah.
And it's such the brainwashing is amazing. They've turned measles, which is just a childhood thing that you get, into like the bubonic plague.
Right, yeah. They used to have measles parties when kids would get it, so that everyone would go over there and everyone would get out of the way.
Check out the Brady Bunch episode about the measles. Oh, measles. They're just having fun with the measles. Everyone got the measles, and then they have lifelong immunity.
Wow. Yeah.
After that
episode will probably go away here pretty soon if it hasn't already.
Probably.
Yeah. So we're talking about faraway times where they were celebrating measles parties. So let's talk about faraway distances and measuring thunderstorms and radar maps. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So this is an idea a listener brought up to me that lives in the Midwest somewhere, and at nighttime, when there's big, lightning storms, he can see the lightning. He can see the storms lighting up, and then he goes on to his, weather application and looks at where those thunderheads are, and he's seeing them at incredible distances. Because they're so bright. Cool. It's what do you think about that idea of long distance viewing?
I think that's a great idea. I'm worried it's not going to. I guess, if it's hundreds of miles, I think it's definitely something worth looking at, especially in the Midwest where it's super flat out there.
Yeah. The only problem is it's like, how do you prove it? Because the situation changes. You take a photo of it. Well, you didn't take it at that time, or it wasn't there, or whatever. But a person that's being honest with themselves, if they are able to see that, do it themselves, they'll know, at least for themselves, that they can see too far.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about just this notion of how everything seems to be the opposite of what we're told. Everything that we go out and observe seems to be the opposite of what science, with a capital S, tells us it is. What do you think about that?
That's a satanic thing, right? Everything is backwards, backwards reading. The earth is a globe. No, it's flat. And everything they tell us is the opposite. You agree? I mean,
yeah, totally agree.
It's so amazing. The food pyramid is wrong, and that glyphosate is not bad for you.
Yeah, we just talked about vaccines,
and vaccines are good for you, and that people are fighting to make sure that we get them. But the opposite is true. Vaccines are for health. Doctors know what they're talking about. None of this is real. Everything is the opposite.
Absolutely, and I think Christians, people that follow the Bible, can see a distinct history of where science is going in the complete opposite to the Bible, to page 1 on so many different things. Think about evolution, age of the earth, shape of the earth now. It's incredible as they start to add up how opposite these things are, for sure.
Another thing, think about this in the flat earth community. You know how there's a lot of hate put on a certain flat earther? Mainly Mark Sargent.
Yeah.
How'd you know?
I just knew.
Mark, early on, with Enclosed World, people are like, that's crazy. You can't say that. Now, most of us believe we're in some sort of enclosure. Mm-hmm. I mean, the evidence is a preponderance of evidence towards being an enclosed system. And Mark, at the conference, he's the only one that saw through Logan Paul's bullshit.
Yep, that's true.
and he left, and we all got mad at him. We all got mad at him, but he's the only one that figured it out. That's because he's such a nerd. He knew who Logan Paul was. I mean, I had never heard of the guy's name.
Yeah, me either.
The fact that he's a nerd actually worked in our favor. So, he put out the Flat Earth Clues, which woke up probably half of the community. That was an instrumental series.
I'd say at least half.
At least half, including me. All hail Mark Sargent. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with everything Mark says. Like, for example, he still in his videos has Beyond the Curve recommended in his description. Okay, I mean that's somebody who must really love his starring role. I guess I understand it, and I'll agree with Mark and others that it's doing more good than harm. It is waking a lot of people up, and I've defended it, but I don't know if I would recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had mostly positive, more positive than negative. Most of the negative comes from like the diehard flat earthers that think everything has to be perfect, and it's not going to be perfect, especially when someone who's not a flat earther is doing a documentary about flat earthers. You're just not going to get a perfect documentary. And I think Mark did awesome in it. And I'm actually speaking with Mark here in a couple weeks in Calgary at Truth Quest Calgary. You can look that up on Facebook at Truth Quest Calgary, or go to Eventbrite, look for tickets there. It's going to be a good show. And I think actually in June, Jess and I are going to go visit him at his house and stay there for a night.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Really crazy.
All right, couple more topics. You want to let's talk?
Yeah. So we talked about this a little bit earlier about the horizon, and you've done a lot of looking into, and this is kind of I want to talk about both the apparent horizon and the horizon. And we always talk about the horizon rising to eye level, but we need to clarify that a little bit. Why don't you clarify?
So on a flat Earth, the horizon theoretically should rise to your eye level, but atmospheric conditions limit how far we can see. So if it's a semi-cloudy, hazy day, the horizon is way below your eye level. It might only be 50 yards away where you can't see any more land. That's your horizon. So the clearer it is, the farther it goes.
I've been in a car during a tornado, and the rain was so thick I couldn't see past my windshield.
Okay, well, you've got no horizon there. The horizon's at your feet.
That's a huge amount of curvature between me and my windshield.
When people say the horizon rises to eye level, and the higher you get, the farther you can see, except the air, you're seeing through more and more air, so it actually is limiting how high the horizon could rise. So the higher you go, the horizon is going to drop a little bit. And that's not because there's nothing beyond it. It's just because that's as far as you can see through the air. You with me?
I'm with you.
That's a very important thing to understand. But here's if you wonder, if you're like at the beach and you're looking and you see the horizon, and you're wondering how much higher the horizon is. I've mentioned this on the early podcasts. There's a little trick you can do. You can get a bottle of water, a clear bottle of water, a glass of water, something that you can see through, and bring that water up to your eye level. So you're looking right across the plane of that water, and then look into the distance. That's where the true horizon is, but you'll see a horizon that's lower than that.
Right.
So that's your level. That's your eye level, but the horizon will be lower than that. And do that on multiple days, and you'll see it's an inch below it. It's a quarter inch below it. It's 2 inches below it. Depending on the visibility, it will vary. But that's a good way to check.
Sure, and kind of going in deeper than that, there's a Life Short video on Jeranism, right, about goes deep into perspective.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours. It's a college course on vision and perspective. It's probably the best video to explain it, but the problem is when you have somebody that doesn't believe in flat Earth, getting them to watch and pay attention and think for a 2.5 hour video is a difficult task.
Yeah, that's about 2 hours and 28 minutes too long.
Yeah, there you go. The one thing he talks about is there's a zone in between. I can't even explain. I'm going to retract that. There's like an invisibility zone in between where you can see and then where the horizon is, and things disappear into that. But he explains it so well. I actually have to watch it again. I've watched it once and skimmed through it a second time, but I got to sit down and really watch it and take some notes.
Well, I mitched that one as well, so I'm gonna have to. I'm definitely gonna have to look at that one.
So jumping back to the beginning where we're talking about Owen and his ability to influence a lot of people, I'm noticing that you're doing some, let's call them very Owen-y things in your yard. Is that an influence to him, or was this in the plan before?
I think it was in the plan before, but seeing him do it certainly has made it easier for me to think that way. We are starting to build a pen that we're going to have a bunch of chickens in, a bunch of meat birds, a bunch of egg birds. Got a bunny yesterday, one of two that we're about to start putting around there, and then we're getting a couple goats as well. So,
are you going to put that old truck in the middle of the goat pen so they can climb all over it? I like that idea.
Jess does not like that idea. She's tired of looking at that old truck that I think has been here since they got the property. So the truck should leave this week sometime.
That's sad to hear. I think it would be the greatest goat playground. Take the doors off, let the goats go in there. It'd be fantastic.
Exactly. I think they would like it too. We've got quite a stack of logs that I'm moving. I might leave a few in there for the goats to jump around on. Right. But yeah, I think the truck's going.
I love it.
Yeah. Another great video that I've got on one of my playlists, it's by the channel called Spill the Truth, and it was a physicist's flat earth theory about horizontal refraction and how when you're looking down at something, the horizon tends to bend downward, and when you're looking up, it tends to bend upward. Very interesting video. That one's like 35 minutes, and I think that one's also worth checking out.
Fantastic.
The last thing I want to touch on, Dave, is how probably the most epic achievement of most of the millennials' lifetime, and I'm talking about putting a Tesla in space, is not advertised anywhere. You can't go to a Tesla dealer and see a poster of the Tesla floating in space. You can't see it on any magazine covers, no 60 Minutes coverage. I believe it was Patricia that brought this up, but wouldn't you think they might advertise that a little bit more?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. Like if a Tesla won a race or something, there would be a poster in every dealership. There would be posters everywhere. There's nothing. Time Magazine, Newsweek, Popular Mechanics, Nat Geo. Don't you think that would have been the cover shot, the Tesla in space with the globe Earth behind it?
If I would have figured out a way to put a car in space, I probably would take advantage of it.
It's unreal. This is impossible. This is completely and totally impossible as no newscopters film the towers falling on 9/11.
Maybe they were too scared that the Earth would glitch out behind it like it does in a lot of the live videos.
I said this on TFR the other night. There was a massive pileup on the highway a few years ago. There was 10 helicopters in the sky filming it for hours. For hours. You know, on any day in New York, there's 4, 5, 6 traffic and newscopters in the sky. I actually got this idea from Quantum Consciousness. You guys got to check out his channel. This guy, Matt, comes on there. He's writing a book, and he's kind of been reading it online. Fantastic, really breaking down reality. But when he was talking about that, sorry to pivot off topic, but it's just the impossibilities of these situations that are thrown at us, and people just eat them up. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Hey, they put a Tesla in space, no logos on it, as Mark pointed out, and no posters, no magazine covers, no discussion of it anywhere on mainstream.
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. It's impossible.
Yeah, it is impossible. Well, what do you say we take a break, hear from our sponsors a bit, and then come back and do some speak pipes?
Fantastic. We'll be right back.
Following announcement has been paid for by
the Flat Earth Podcast. You want to leave a digital voicemail for us? Head over to theflatearthpodcast.com and click on the blue link that reads, "Got a question? Send us a message."
You can do it from your iPhone or from your computer. First time you do it on your cellular phone, you'll have to download a little app. But after that, you can leave us all kinds of messages. If you want to be anonymous, you can make up a name, make up an email address. We don't care. We just want to hear what you have to say.
We'll do our best to play or answer these questions and comments on future episodes right here on the Flat Earth Podcast. Download the SpeakPipe app and check us out at theflatearthpodcast.com.
the Flat Earth Podcast.
If you're watching this audio on YouTube right now and you're not familiar with the world of podcasting, There's a far better way to listen to the Flat Earth Podcast each and every week.
Think of it like your TiVo or your DVR is to your television. You subscribe to whatever show that you like. Whenever a new episode comes out, it records it, downloads it, and notifies you that there's a new episode for easy listening anywhere. Another great feature on most podcast players is you could speed up if you want to hear stuff even faster, or more importantly, it has a jump back and jump forward 30 seconds so you could skip annoying announcements like this.
We're on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and so many more. If we're not on your favorite podcast app, send us a message and let us know to make sure we will be.
The Flat Earth Podcast.
I love the Flat Earth Podcast. You know that. It's so good. And now they tell me, you got to listen to this one. They show me the picture. Looks like poop on the plane. I say, I don't want to poop on the plane. I don't want pee on the bed. That's not right. But now I understand. It's the Do Me Life Podcast. And you know, I like that. Like the Pound Me Too movement. Is this X-rated? Who knows? I'm Donald Trump, and I endorse Poop on the Plane's Do Me Life podcast. Take your shots, people. Measles shots, moon shots, whatever.
The Flat Earth Man album is out right now.
Oh, that's just faking everything that you have ever seen. Do you still believe we went to the moon? Do you still believe what they're telling you? All y'all watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Don't believe in gravity. Ain't no photographs or somebody tell me why. Welcome to the satellite, folks. Just another one of them NASA jokes. Don't let them take your mind. Don't let them take your mind, man. There's no such thing as outer space. We made it all up. Yeah, space is fake. Oh, I don't want to talk about NASA ever again.
The Flat Earth Man album is out now.
I always wanted to be an astronaut. I'll be in space. At least that's what I thought.
Hey, it's Mitchell from Australia. Where are you? Like, it's been over a month. I haven't heard from you. I check your podcast page every day. There's just nothing. It's like you've just left. Like, you don't call? You don't write? Just getting your answering machine again. Is it me? God, it must be me. I'm sorry, I always do this. I come on too strong. I try to be overly nice. Like, I'm a nice guy. Just give me another chance. Pick up the phone. I know you're there. I know you're there. Don't hide from me. Pick up the phone. I love you. Bye. Hey, it's me again. Still haven't heard from you. I just can't get you out of my head. You drive me crazy. It's all I think about is just you. Dave, is it the transgender thing? Because I don't care, man. If you got an innie or an outie, I still love you the same. I just need to hear that voice. Please come back to me. I saw your mum at the shops the other day. I just didn't know what to say. Just give me an answer. Do you love me or not? Bye. Pick up the phone! You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see, Davy? Where the hell are you? I swear to God, if I come around your place and Jay's car's there, oh, help me God. What does Jay have that I don't have, huh? You know what, screw this, screw your games. I'm going to call Jaren and he's going to give me flat earth. Yeah, how do you like that, huh? Yeah, you forgot I got those photos of you too, don't you? Yeah, oh, you want to play games? You pick up this phone. I know you're listening. You're nothing, you hear me? Never been anything. Before we even met, I picked you up, put you on the flat earth pedestal, and now what do you repay me with, huh? Silence, nothing. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean it. Nobody does flat earth like you. Jaren, he doesn't mean anything. I mean, I like his videos, but that's it. That's as far as it goes. He could stick a whole box of tissues up his nose and he still wouldn't have a beautiful nasally voice like you do. I just need you. Come back to me. I love you. Bye. Davey, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Because I want you and I need you. And I'm down for you always, CJ. Do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Because I want you and I need you. And I'm down for you always. Boys, this is what happens when you don't do a podcast for a month. Don't let it happen again.
My fellow citizens, I got some great news. Not fake news. This is great news. It gives me great pleasure to introduce and endorse from the Flat Earth Podcast. I love these guys. A breakthrough for the geocentric world. I want everybody to have this. It's the new Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock. Right on your phone. That's where it goes. It's beautiful. I got it. Melania loves it. Ivanka, too, are crazy about it. You know, all that money was spent on NASA, and they couldn't come up with this. It shows me right where I am. I know where the moon is. The season's got everything. It's got the wall, not that wall, the ice wall. You gotta get this. The Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve of this app. Tremendous technology, so simple. Baron, make it work for me, will you? This kid's so clever. Kids are clever, but CNN, so stupid.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society, but we always have time for the Flat Earth Podcast. Those cats are pretty cool.
I guess it's flat. I guess it's flat. I guess it's flat.
And, you know, listen, I have callers on hold every day who say we shouldn't vaccinate. And unlike most dumb conspiracies like Flat Earth, this one actually could kill us because these fucking people refuse to believe scientists. You know, I don't care if you want to believe in the Flat Earth. You want to walk around like a moron, that's fine. You're not hurting me.
And me and DITR Dearth, the Flat Earth guy, we've been texting. We're doing the stream this week. He's an awesome guy. So that's happening.
All right, welcome back, Dave. Let's take a listen to some speak pipes. See what we got going.
All right, we got a bunch, so we'll try to be efficient here. And here we go. First one is from Brian.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Brian up here in Ottawa, Canada. I've been listening to Elise since the Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole days. So first question is, do you still talk to those guys, and what are they up to these days? Is Mike still a super, etc.? Second question is having to do with a little more on the flat Earth topic. Recently, I've kind of been getting into some material that suggests that the AE map was actually planted there to kind of deceive people who caught on to, the fact the Earth is not a ball. Guess just any thoughts on, could it be anything other than the AE map? Because for me, the AE map made a lot of sense, but now kind of just not so sure. But anyways, your thoughts would be much appreciated. Love the show. Thanks.
Thanks, Brian. Real quick, Tim and Mike. Tim is traveling the world as a shaman, doing. He's going to Dubai like once a month. He is going through some growing pains and becoming a healer. I'm pretty sure he's going to just turn into pure energy soon and and just poof, like, into the ether. And then Mike is still trying to be a comedian, and the last word I heard from Mike is, don't attach yourself to Owen Benjamin. He's a washed up loser. So I didn't even respond. As far as the AE map, when there's information coming out there saying that it's dropped in as a PSYOP, well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's the PSYOP. They're saying that Flat Earth is the PSYOP. No, Flat Earth is not the PSYOP. So the AE map, as I said, works on my clock, so there's some truth to it.
Nice. So eventually Tim will be Tim the Grey, like Gandalf the Grey from Lord of the Rings.
I mitched
think
that one.
You mitched that one? Okay. I married into a family that watches Lord of the Rings, so I must say I actually quite enjoyed it. You know, having Craig on the other day was a bit like having Mike Cannon on the show, was it not?
Yes.
It was very similar.
Craig was most horrifying person I've ever had on the show.
Craig, excuse me. I think the AE map is a good teaching tool, and that's what it is. And definitely, like, there could be issues with it. It might be perfect, and the things that people have issues with will be explained as we do more research into it and find. Dave talked about, could the Earth be flat? Could it be something crazier? It's probably a combination of both, right? I mean, we're little ants on this thing trying to figure it out from here. I think it's a great teaching tool, and I'll continue to use it.
Okay. For right now, I think it's the best thing we have. Next one is from Cody.
Hey, guys. My name is Cody. I'm from Louisiana. I've been listening to podcasts for about 7 months now. I just had a question. So basically, NASA had been telling everybody that they couldn't get back to the moon because of the Van Allen radiation belts that were deadly for astronauts to pass through, which lie between Earth's atmosphere and the moon. Well, what is their excuse now, since the recent articles came out that say that Earth's atmosphere extends beyond the moon, meaning that our atmosphere now goes out to about 300,000 miles? So now not that the moon's closer, but essentially now our atmosphere extends further than we thought because of data from the Russians in like the 50s. What do you think their answer would be to that perplexing question? Either the Van Allen radiation belts don't exist anymore, or this new data is bogus. Thank you. Get back to me.
I think their answer would be banned for life.
They put that out there. They never followed up on it. The people that believe in the ball don't even know about it. It's just us.
They're doing it to us, just like the Tesla thing was for us. That's why it's not being propagated out there.
Yeah, it's interesting. There is no answer. It's NASA. It's just not accurately scientific association, whatever.
Awesome.
The next one is from Daryl. Here we go, Daryl.
Hi, my name is Daryl, and I was working, and I work with some Mexicans, and some of them don't really know English, and I was listening to your podcast, and one of the guys said, "¿Qué pasa?" Which means "what's up?" So I go into Google to translate "the Earth is flat," and I type in "the Earth is flat," and as soon as I type it in, it says I have no internet connection. And I thought, that's pretty funny, and I thought you guys needed to know. Love the show. Thank you.
Wow, Daryl being silenced.
Or you had no internet connection.
Yeah, right. No, I prefer to think it's a conspiracy. I think Terra Platana, that might be flat Earth. You can always point those guys to Iru's channel, right?
You can. Next one is from Steve.
Hey guys, Steve from Australia here. I've got a few questions regarding the flat Earth. I'm researching at the moment. I'm hearing Dave on Primerica. I've just started listening to your actual podcast as well to get some more truths. Now I'm curious with pollution. If we're living in the firmament of the dome, where does pollution go? How are we not overrun by pollution? How can we still see 5 minutes in front of us? I think that's a question that I'd really like to get an answer to. Also, what's on the outside of the dome? What's beyond the dome? What's beyond anything? Is there anything out there, or is this legit just everything in the entire universe is in this dome, and that's where we exist, and nothing else is beyond? And I have read in places that flat earthers think Australia doesn't exist. If I'm not living in Australia, I'm not sure where I'm living. I haven't personally heard yet either of you two, or even with Dave from America, say that it doesn't exist. But I have read that flat earthers believe that Australia doesn't exist. So if you can answer those questions for me, that'd be fantastic. I am a globie at the moment, but I am researching and I am finding stuff that I can't explain. Cheers.
Thanks, Mitchell. Good job disguising your voice with all of that background noise.
Nice. Smart.
I don't know that Australia does exist, but Karen B has a nice video saying that flat earthers never said Australia doesn't exist. Good questions from what I could hear. What did you make out of that? It was really tough to hear.
If I'm going to address what I think he was asking, yes, we believe everything is in our enclosed system. We don't have outer space beyond Earth. This enclosed Earth is the system that we live in.
That's all there
everything.
is.
That's all there is, yes. And to address the Earth is flat in Spanish, la tierra es plana.
Very good.
I looked it up.
Keep researching. You'll find out more information on those questions. The next one is from KC.
Hey guys, this is KC. Now that we have a better understanding or better theories of what the sun is and what the sun isn't, I have a question of why sometimes when I look at the sun, do I sneeze? Can you answer me this?
Dave, I'm going to let you take that one.
I was going to let you take that one. Next one is from Flatty Matty.
That's a great question.
He gets nothing.
Hey guys, this is Flatty Matty calling in from Burleson, Texas. I wanted to share my latest and greatest flat smacking idea. I did a screen record of the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Zodiac app, and I went through the cycles of the sun and the moon using the hourly and daily rotation to speed it up. Clicked on the zodiac sign so he could see how the zodiacs work, as well as the seasons with the 3-month skip, and it worked beautifully. It just took about a minute of clicking through. Anyhow, hopefully it's going to work and we can have some good conversation tomorrow. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. If anyone was looking for a good idea how to get a quick visual for their buddies, and that might be pretty interesting. Last thing I got for you guys is, Matt, come back to Texas. The George Bush twins want you back.
Come back to Texas. Pretty sure that's Bowling for Soup. Great song. I've actually got that on my playlist. That's my buddy down there. He didn't say his full name, so I won't say his full name. But yeah,
Flatty Matty.
Flatty Matty. Great dude.
Was there anything that we're supposed to address in that?
I think he was just telling you how awesome your app was.
That's the purpose of the app, to wake up other people, and it really gives you something physical in your hand. So I appreciate that. I'll send you your check, Maddie. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually in that song it also says that NASA wants you back as well. So just throwing that out there.
Very good.
Bowling for Soup. Look it up.
The next one is from Buck.
Hey, just heard you with Owen Benjamin. Great stuff. Going to turn on some people to your podcasting website. Thanks again. Really enjoyed the stream with Owen.
Nice.
Very good. I appreciate the kind words.
Don't forget to link to the song in the description that I just sang.
Well, you have to send me the link, and I'll do it.
I'll send you the link. I'm sending it now.
Okay. The next one is from, I'm going to butcher the name, Theriot. Theriot. How would you pronounce that?
Honestly, I stopped listening after TH.
Theriot. Here we go.
This is harder than it should be. The Logical Fallacy podcast was tremendous. Wow. The enemy.
Yeah, Logical Fallacy.
When you get to hear him like that, it brings everything into focus. Just what we're fighting for. You guys are money. What can I say? I bought your app, and I just love to hear you keep trying with the guy. But I have to say that I listened to the podcast for the first time today, and the funniest thing of all is that the Flat Earth podcast, the juxtaposition of those two Obama clips. Yeah, I'm a sound editor. Good work. Keep it up. Really enjoyed everything I heard today. I caught you on Owen's show. I got some problems with him, but yeah. But it was a good listen with the guy with the bald head on it. Beautiful.
Had to end on that note. It was such a nice thing.
Awesome.
You know what? Something Mark Sargent and I have done together. No one's pointed this out. Both of us have stopped wearing a hat when we do interviews.
You know what? I noticed that.
There might be our controllers told us the same time.
Wow.
It'll make us more credible, perhaps. So somebody please start that conspiracy. Maybe your buddies at will pick up on that.
Did you just say the name? Please bleep it out.
Don't worry, I will. The next one is from Steve.
Hey guys, I'm a bit further through your podcast at the moment, over the halfway mark. Now, I did leave a message last week saying that I was a Glober. After watching extensive amounts of videos and listening to hours upon hours your podcast, along with some other podcasts as well, I'm quite convinced that we do live on a flat surface. But I have got another question. I haven't heard or found anything about the explanation of the Northern Lights. Wondering if you know anything about how they occur. And I'm currently listening to the episode with Jaron and talking about the tennis player with Hollow Earth. Now, I'm not saying that there is a Hollow Earth, but what if there is something in the North Pole that is kind of like an entrance to an under Earth, so another flat plane underneath the Earth? Might be interesting to look at if, the so-called satellites that don't exist, pictures that don't actually show us the area, are trying to hide something there. And there is an entry to an underside, not so much an underside, but like where the rooftop, and there is a level underneath us. So, yeah, that's just a little theory that I'll never be able to prove, not having the research or resources, but yeah, love the show. Peace.
Thanks, Mitchell. He's a Glober, but now he's considering that it's flat after listening to us and other things. Great. Congratulations.
Nice.
Welcome.
Nice, Mitchell.
As far as the Hollow Earth thing, I'm not sure which episode he was talking about, but to me, on a flat Earth, a flat Earth makes more sense of having a underworld, another layer, another flat layer above us, the heavens above, and who knows what's below. What are your thoughts on that?
I obviously believe that there are things below us. Like in this realm, I believe, deep underground military bases, things like that. But also in maybe the spiritual realm, there's stuff below us, i.e. Sheol, hell, Hades, and then, like you said, the heavens above. So I think going through the Bible, it always talks about above and below. On a ball, that's kind of weird, because there really is no up or down. Once again, another thing that's like the opposite of what we experience and what the Bible says. And then as far as the Northern Lights, I think the North Pole is the center of everything. And so there's something very cool emanating from the center. And if you read Revelation 4:3, John goes to heaven and talks about the emerald rainbow around the throne of God. Well, the Northern Lights, the majority of the time, are green. And I think that's very interesting that could possibly be a rainbow around directly beneath where God sits. So very cool stuff.
That's a great explanation.
And, up here where I live, you can actually see the Northern Lights in the summer. And I saw them this past summer when I came up here to visit. And you talk about the experience of seeing the Northern Lights when you have that opinion, the flat Earth opinion. You're close to the center of the Earth, as opposed to just the explanation that they give you on the spinning ball. It's a much more amazing experience.
Wow, fantastic. Well, keep researching and you will find more. The next one is from Ross.
I've just discovered you and downloaded your app and wanted to share with you a magazine at www.ilearn.tw/issue2. I hope you enjoy it. It's a pleasure to meet you via Benjamin Owen's podcast.
See, these messages are nonstop. The reach of that show, it's well over 100,000 views now, and there's dozens and dozens of clips that other channels are putting up, getting tens of thousands of views, where they're just, Owen and DITRH explain eclipses, explain weather, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that's good. What was that website? I did check it out. It's been up for a while. The guy's on there preaching some interesting flat Earth stuff. Worth a look if you're looking for some flat Earth content. Check it out. Anything, Matt? Still there?
Nothing. Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. The next one is from the Reluctant Bear.
Hi guys, Reluctant Bear here. Found you guys through on Benjamin's channel. Been on a flat Earth journey for about a year and a half. Have been all the way to the Earth is flat to nope, it's round, and back to I'm pretty sure it's flat again. Still working through a couple things, and I wanted to see if you guys could help out with really the distance down in Antarctica. I know the Captain Cook logs at 60,000 miles, but it seems like all of those routes should be able to be pieced together with modern cruises and whatnot. And I'm just wondering, it's really hard to find good information these days. If there's ship logs and trips from like Argentina to New Zealand and all those pieces that can verify some of the distances down in the southern hemisphere. Any information you guys have on that would be appreciated. Appreciate your show. Keep up the good work. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Reluctant Bear. I think just the fact that it's hard to find information on some of that stuff should be a little bit of a red flag. You know, I know a lot of people that aren't flat earthers but have seen some of the stuff I've shown them about Antarctica, and they say, well, even if the earth is not flat, they're hiding something in Antarctica. The whole notion of the deep southern hemisphere, there's just not a lot of info. Dave, what do you think?
I agree. The lack of information, the lack of access to Antarctica and the North tells us that they're hiding something. The next one is from Jack. This is a good one. This is one I listened to.
David Weiss, my name is Jack. I just want to tell you, you're awesome. You're hysterical. Watched on Owen Benjamin and then followed you around to like Paul on the Plane and all the other places that you told me to watch you. And then I started watching a whole bunch of Crow 777. And now I'm a flat earther, which is, obviously insane. Because, I mean, normal people are not supposed to be flat earthers. And, wow, that's amazing. Anyway, you're apparently in this area. I'll buy you a drink. I'll buy you a coffee. My email @gmail.com. Hit me up, brother. Be well.
All right. So this is what I've been waiting for 5 years. Somebody to wake up in my own town. This guy woke up. He's a respected member of the town, and he woke up to Flat Earth from Owen. And we've been texting. We're actually going to get together next weekend and talk, all things insanity.
Nice. My worry is that Mitchell has perfected the accent and is luring you to some coffee shop.
That's a distinct possibility, but that's a long hike for Mitchell.
Sure. I'm just saying, be careful.
All right, next one is from, the name's cut off, Christopher, maybe. Here we go.
Yeah, hi guys. Christoph from Australia. I have a question, and it is, how can we have a gradient without gravity on the flat Earth model? I've been trying to get my head around this one, but I just not sure if you've already given the information because I haven't listened to all the podcasts yet. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Cheers.
All right, thanks, Christoph.
I thought that was Mitchell.
Yeah, well, I blew that. I'm going to go with it because it's a good question, so we'll pretend it's not Mitchell, and we'll go by Christoph.
Great.
So I think what he's asking is how there can be a pressure, how there can be a gradient in density. I believe that there is some sort of static force that pulls everything down, but a lot of flat earthers think that it's just buoyancy and density that sort that out. But if you think about a can of pressurized, some furniture polish, when you don't shake it, it's all the heavy stuff's at the bottom and the lighter stuff's at the top, but it's in a pressurized can. And that is just due to buoyancy and density. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes. Are you suggesting that maybe we also are dealing with electromagnetism beyond that?
I think that has something to do with it. But somebody pointed out to me, they said, what about a charged particle? Wouldn't that be drawn down at a different rate? And my answer is, I don't know, but maybe it is. I've seen electrical things be attracted to other electrical things and stick.
Yeah.
So
yeah, think about static electricity.
Yeah. It pulls the dust to the old television screens to a cathode ray tube. Yeah, so there's answers for that. I really don't have all of the words to put it together, but you probably listen to Globebusters and it will come up in the next couple of weeks, or go back a couple episodes and I'm sure they talked about it.
Sure.
All right, so I don't have a better answer for that. Next one is from Frenchie.
Gentlemen, awesome show. Keep up the good work. You just, for crying out loud, make the podcast more regular. Because I'm kind of addicted to your show. Anyhow, I suggest that you contact a dude by the name of Astromat of the Godlike Production website and debate him, because he's a self-confessed guru about everything that is space. I reckon that'll make a cranking show, and you might even get even more listeners. Anyhow, also, can you explain how can you have gradient without gravity? I'm just stuck on that one. That'd be really cool if you could answer that. Cheers, boys.
All right, thanks, Frenchie. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, the trolls must be pushing the gradient without vacuum. Imagine if you had to defend the ball and the only thing you can come up with is gradient without a vacuum, trying to explain it, where I don't know the answer, but I'm sure there's something out there. I just don't think it proves gravity or buoyancy and density. I don't think it proves anything. I think it's just an observation.
Yeah, I just think heavier things fall, lighter things rise.
Right.
And that's going to create a gradient.
And as far as going to Godlike Productions, that is a place that I do not ever go. It's insanity over there, in my opinion, for me. And I'm not into debating people that are dead set and believing it's a ball that don't want to learn. So that's not something that I'm very interested in doing. Next one is from, that was the last one.
Nice. Okay. Well, once again, we thank everybody who sends in speak pipes. We love doing those. Dave, you got anything coming up?
Nothing big coming up.
Nothing big. Okay. I
Nothing
like how
big.
you stumbled into nothingness right there.
Nothingness.
Okay. Well, you can find me at woke.town or just at woketown on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm also speaking at Truth Quest Calgary in May, here in a couple weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mark Sargent will be there. Robbie Davidson will be there if he ever gets back from New Zealand. It'll be really good. So where can people find you and the podcast?
That's it. Just my YouTube channel, DITRH. Make sure you check out the links under the show. We'll have the links to the Owen Benjamin interview if you missed that, and whatever else we talked about. So that's it. Everybody, we'll see you next time.
Awesome. See ya.
Thanks.
Ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. Ashes to ashes, and dust to dust.
Peace.